Welcome, everyone. My name is Blair Pacheco. You see me every week up on 4Exposure with my good friend Pluggo as we take a look at the world of independent wrestling. But we're doing something different today. Love wrestling interviews with my incredible guest, Allie Katch. Allie, how are things going?
Hi, they're going very well. I had a very good weekend.
You had a busy weekend. I mean, I think it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows, different areas. How was that for you?
It was, I'm very tired, but it was very good. I debuted at 2 new places. I won some. I lost, but we don't have to talk about those ones. You know, we don't.
We're here to promote, the victories, the good stuff, the losses.
You get it.
I mean, you've had a big couple weeks. I mean, you made your return, GCW Fight Club. We saw you show up there, and I mean, I think everyone was very surprised with what happened. And even, I mean, it's so early on that you had your chance to talk about it, but all of us are left with questioning why.
I think I have as many questions as everybody else does. I'm also asking why. Why Effie? Where Effie? I wasn't there this last weekend with GCW. I was elsewhere. I had prior commitments. But I've barely seen anything of Effie acknowledging me, acknowledging us. He's still yet to call me, text me, anything. It's like, if you want to just sweep this under the rug, we can try, sis. But that's really not what I want to do.
I will say you're debuting back at GCW, you kind of stole the thunder away from GCW, considering they just announced their return to the Hammerstein Ballroom for the GCW People versus GCW. You kind of took away all the thunder from that.
I don't think I took away from the thunder. I think it was just as big, just as cool. Please put money on my books. At Hammerstein. If anything, I feel like I took thunder away from Effie, which of course Effie can't stand, or I took thunder away from Bully Ray. Sorry, bud.
That's okay. I mean, it's Bully Ray.
Hey.
We saw the promo video, and I mean, for the upcoming GCW return to the Hammerstein, and I, for one, I love the video because it took all the the quotes from the media, how saying it wasn't, up to snuff. It didn't, it wasn't up to par. And I loved it because it was basically the GCW roster being, you know what? We'll show you guys. So with your return to the Hammerstein, how are you feeling about your return? And what are you looking most forward to with going back there?
I am looking forward to Hammerstein just because it's a historic building. And once again, GCW as an independent company is making history along with it. Like, all the things I've gotten to do with GCW are some things like friends I have on TV still have yet to say that they've been able to do or be a part of. So I'm very lucky and very grateful. The first Hammerstein show, I had my dream match against Ruby Soho, a match I've literally wanted my whole career. And so this next Hammerstein, I don't even know how I can top that emotion and feeling wise. Because yes, in this package we put out, we're essentially giving the mic and putting over all of our detractors. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. And it's fine to acknowledge them. But if you are a real GCW fan or you were actually in that locker room, there's nothing but positive things to say about the first Hammerstein. So to be able to top it, I know we can do, and I can't wait. But I also have no expectations, and I also don't really care what anybody's going to say about it because I know and I feel like it's going to be great, just like the first one was.
I was going back and, doing some research on you, just checking out, different places you've wrestled. And you've wrestled in Cork and Hall, and it's, a very famous venue. And then I was thinking, I was like, what is like the North American equivalent to Cork? And where like people always are like, they always talk about, and I'm like, when we talk about like historic venues, it's places like the Hammerstein, which holds such a legacy, or the 2300 Arena. So it kind of, it throws you for a loop when you hear like, yeah, Japan has Cork, but it's like, yeah, we've got the Hammerstein, and that's the like, the bar here.
Right, exactly. Like, and a lot of it is too, I just feel like people are upset they aren't a part of it, or they don't get to be a part of it, and so they only have negative things to say. But it's like, bitch, I was at Hammerstein. Like, you cannot take that away from me. I have nothing but good things to say. Try again.
You returned recently from a trip over to England. I mean, new TNT women's champion over there. What was the experience like? I know it's not your first time there, but like when you go back and look, did you have culture shock the first time you showed up in England? It was a few years ago, right?
Yes. Culture shock in England, not like so much. Like, but before that, I'd only ever been to Canada. Like, I'd never even gone on a vacation outside of like the continent before. Mm-hmm. So, like, Canada was my only taste of another country, and it's very similar, except for like some language, some things, parts of Canada you go to, obviously, like I will this week.
Yeah.
But like, same thing with like going to the UK. It's not incredibly different. The biggest thing is obviously driving on the other side of the road, and that freaked me out when I first like got into an Uber and was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I would say like the cool difference about the UK is the fans. Mm-hmm. Whenever you would watch like, when like NXT went over there, like anybody goes over there, and then all of a sudden they come back with these new like chants from the crowd. Like, the people in the UK, I think it's like a sports thing, like a soccer. We say soccer. I'll say football, so like they don't hate me.
Yes.
Football over there, but they do lots of like these like sing-songy chants, and so they brought it over to the wrestling, and I just think that's the coolest thing when they like start to sing a song when I'm in the ring. I'm like, oh, I made it. Like, that's my favorite part.
I know as a fan, like watching on TV, I'm always into the fan interaction, seeing like the clever chants they have, the sing-songy like sort of vibe to it. So like to me, seeing it just adds more to like the party atmosphere. Like you guys have to just feed off of that.
It's very like there's like party atmosphere, especially like when GCW went over there. Like TNT is very similar. It's the same thing like it is here, like it is in Canada. Like each kind of section has its own role as far as like what they give the fans. And so I get the privilege of also like going to all those places and seeing like how each place runs and what the fans are like, just like you do here. And then you tell like your other wrestlers like, hey man, they really like this stuff here. Hey, like this does really well. Like it, like wrestling in itself is its own culture. So like that, there's no culture shock when you do that. It's just like plug and play different people now.
I'd be amiss if I didn't ask, because I mean, you kind of mentioned your the troubles you had with Canadian airports last year. Is it the same everywhere for you? Like, is this a you thing, or is there something more? Is it a Canada thing?
Oh my god! First of all, how dare you? Because some people, like, you're not the first person to be like, it's just you, Allie. And I'm like, okay, so why me? Like, why?
I'm not blaming you. I'm just asking.
Okay, so last year, yes, I had really, really like at least three, maybe four bad run-ins with like going to Canada and getting back home. At one point, it was like Forbidden Door weekend. I was trapped in Canada for like 4 days, and I had a show on Thursday. And so finally on Wednesday, I said, I can't do this anymore. And I took a bus home and was able to get home at like 3 a.m., repack, and then go to the airport to get on the flight for the Thursday show. It was awful. I will say this year, it is now October, knock on wood, no Canada troubles this year. Like, I have been a few times now in a few different parts of Canada. No troubles. Now I'm scared though that you've brought this up and brought it to the universe's attention as I go to Canada this week.
Okay, if there are any issues, I will personally set up a way for you to get out of Canada. I'll rent you a car. We will make sure that you are not stuck in Canada any longer than you need to be.
Please. And it's all because Air Canada doesn't care if you live or die. Okay.
No.
They don't care if you live or die. I will say this year it's been Delta. Oh my God. Please, everyone, do not ever book me on Delta again. Because, it's like, I guess my airport's not a Delta airport, so I'm always having to connect and everything just goes wrong. So please, Air Canada, spare me this week. Delta, I hope I never see you again.
I mean, fingers crossed, because Thursday, you're coming into Winnipeg for Winnipeg Pro Wrestling. Rumble in the Burt. 1,200 tickets have already been sold for this event. As a wrestler, when you're coming into, you already know that there's this many seats. Like, you've been a part of WPW shows before. You know what the crowd is like there. They are very in tune with it. They are loud. They are lively. As a wrestler, when you know that you're going into a match or a show like this is historic. What is the sort of like mindset for you knowing that you're going to be a part of this?
I really do just try to move in like an excited and a grateful manner. So I just look at it and I go, wow, I'm so happy to be a part of this. I'm so glad that I am at a place where I'm wanted and the team wants me and Canada wants me, etc. Because if I go the other way and I get scared and nervous, like it could all fall apart. And I want to practice what I preach because so many other people I talk to in the locker room and I go, hey, no, man, that's really cool. You should really smell the flowers like while you're here, et cetera, et cetera. So if I'm over here going, oh my God, this 1,400, I can't mess up. Like, oh my God, like what if my bag doesn't make it or blah, blah, blah. Like I have to just go in and go, this is fucking sick. I've done them all. I've done Hammerstein. Now I'm going to do the biggest WPW show at this. Like it's, and like all the other people I'm surrounded with, it's very cool. Like Ardona's going to be there. It's big.
Well, I mean, you've got a massive matchup to crown a new WPW Women's Champion. It's a vacant title right now. You're going one-on-one with Ava Lawless. And from what I gather, this is the first time you two have competed in a singles match. You've been a part of a triple threat singles match, though. So, I mean, Ava is one of the best out in Western Canada. You are one of the best in North America. So, I mean, what are you doing to make sure you leave with that gold? What are you doing to make sure you're leaving 10 pounds heavier with that luggage?
Listen, first of all, they may just keep it. I want to be able to get back home. And if people see this beautiful belt in my bag, I'm going to get stopped. Okay. They're going to ask a bunch of questions. I want to take a lot of photos with me. So yeah, we've only been in a triple threat, but I have watched her wrestle a few times. I study my opponents. I watch their stuff. I was there when she kicked Effie's ass. And that match was brutal, long, amazing, great. So I know everything she's capable of. She's beat Effie. She could beat me. However, I've been going to WPW so many times, and I love the fans. I love the people who run it. And I've already fought for this belt before against
Jody
Threat. And so I just feel like this special connection, and I feel like that's going to drive me through because I don't think she has good intentions with this title reign.
I think you could be right. So, I mean, fingers crossed. Thursday night, WPW. The next night, you're in LPW for LPW 31. This is your third appearance in LPW. I have to ask, what about the promotion is constantly bringing you back? Like that you want to be a part of this team?
I think so when I first went, it was a like newish area of Canada. Like still I'm not like, I'd only been to Edmonton once. So like what is that? That's west, correct?
That's west, yeah.
Yes, because the time zone change is crazy. So like, obviously I've been to California and all that, but I'd never really done West Canada before. And so, like, I love getting to go somewhere I don't go all the time. Spencer is great. He's so sweet. He's so nice, and he cares so much. So obviously, I want to be around that. And I love the locker room, and the space is great too. The ring cut, like it's like little things for me. It's like the little cute ring colors. It's like how you can see everything up on the screen. Like it's presented well. Cool photographers. Like there's so much great stuff about Love Wrestling.
Well, you're part of a match for the Scramble Championship. So you've got 4 other people you haven't shared a ring with before. And like, I was, when I'm doing my research, I'm like, well, okay, you know what, Allie, she's done death matches. She's done, I think, more hardcore and street fight matches than everybody in that match combined. So like, you are very familiar with the car crash, the chaos. Allie, are you going to be leaving with another title?
Again, if they see 2 in there, I'm going to get questioned. I'm going to get, I might not make it back to America because I will be a Canadian hero at this point. I think you're right as far as me having the most experience. The unfortunate thing is it's still a scramble. And so that is a whole other thing I have to factor in. Like, yeah, I can throw someone through a door and win a match easy. But what if I throw someone through a door and I turn around and there's someone with a light tube? Like there's so much to think about. So I'm not prepared for this.
Well, you've wrestled like a fair amount in Canada, especially more the past few years. I mean, with IWS, their partnership with GCW, put on some massive shows there. Your work with WPW, LPW. And I mean, what have you noticed when it comes to the growth of Canadian wrestling? Because even though we're not too far away, it still seems like we're a ways away from everything going on in the States.
It is weird, and it is unfortunate because, like, I started going to Canada very early on. I went to Alpha One shows.
Yeah.
And that's where I met, like, a bunch of these people, and you're just like, wow, you're all great. I wish I could see you more. I wish I could put you guys were on like more shows with me or bigger platforms, but I also don't want you to get kicked out for 5 years. Like everyone is so like conscious and scared of it. And I feel bad because there is just like an insane amount of talent in Canada and only a few trickle through. Like thankfully everybody saw Jody Threat, and now Jody Threat's with TNA and we see her everywhere and she always gets to come to America and I always get to see her. I'm like, good. She's amazing. There's so many other like great girls in Canada that I'm like, please, I want to see more of you. But I get it because also Canada, like I should see it on a map that it's as big as America, but I don't ever think of it. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do Toronto and then I'll do this one the next day and we'll just drive to it, right, guys? And they're like, that's like 6 hours away, Allison. Like, what do you? I go, huh. I didn't remember that part. Everything is also far away. So like they also have to deal with that it's like, I feel like in America, it's an insane amount of wrestling promotions to choose from literally everywhere. Mm-hmm. Canada, it's like, here's one here, there's a good one here, there's a good one here, and then there's a good one here. And so I just feel bad. And I wish more people need to get IWTV and Triller and all the streaming sites so that they can see how cool everybody is over there. And the scene is great.
Well, I, for one, am very excited for you making a return up here to Canada. If you have anything you would like to plug, here is an opportunity.
Shout out to Air Canada. I love you so much. Please upgrade me and don't mess up my flights. But also, you can find me on Twitter, X, whatever. Is it X? What do we call it?
I still call it Twitter, but it's X. Okay.
You can find me on that one as @Allie Katch, and you can find me on Instagram as the Allie Katch, where I post all my dates and all my wins and all my belts if I come home with them this week. So
thank you so much to Allie for joining me. Hit that like, subscribe, all of that. Thanks for checking this out. We will talk soon.
Yay. Thanks, y'all.